Maybe you think that because of the fact that I have over 1 million subscribers on my main YouTube channel, Flux Academy, I know something about YouTube, but turns out I don't. So let's dive into it. All right. Welcome. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Life in Flux. My name is Ron Segal. I run Flux Academy, as I said, which is an online school for designers. We have a big YouTube channel, and we're teaching people web design skills. And here on this podcast, I just rant about what's going on in my life and in my business and how I manage this transition. Everything is a transition, right? Life is in constant flux. This is what this podcast is about. And me just rambling about what's on my mind. And today on the topic of YouTube, because I had a really big insight this week, which is that it turns out that I'm not really good or know much about YouTube. And I know that it sounds funny. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've done thousands of videos. As I said, we've got over 1 million subscribers on the channel. What else? We've got some videos with millions of views. So you might be saying, well, he's just bullshitting or he is just trying to be humble or something like this. Obviously, this guy knows a lot about YouTube. But I want to beg the difference, and I want to share why I'm thinking this way, because I feel like I had an insight, a very big insight this week about my skill and our skills as a company that mainly relies on YouTube. So why am I short context about how my YouTube channel came to be? I started this YouTube channel when I was freelancing as a designer over 10 years ago, and it started out as a vlog, meaning I would walk around with a camera and I would capture all of my days, and I would every day at the end of the day I would edit kind of like a vlog. I was inspired by Casey Neistat, which was a big kind of like vlogger back in the day 10 years ago, and I wanted to show kind of like the behind the scenes of a life of a designer. And so I started out just uploading 5 videos per week, basically every day of the week besides the weekend. And this was mainly my creative outlet. It wasn't designed as a marketing channel. It wasn't designed, I wasn't like a Mr. Beast always trying to be big on YouTube. Actually, at the beginning, I think that for a while, I thought this channel could never reach like something like 1 million subscribers, because I thought this is so niche, like behind the scenes of the life of a designer. Like not that many people care about this, but I didn't care too much about growing it. It was just like my creative outlet. And then at some point, few things have changed. About 3 years later, I got sick of walking around with a camera and doing the daily vlogs, and I started just shooting what we call talking head videos, which is basically me in the office talking about stuff. And I changed the formats of the videos, tried different formats, and also started, Flux Academy as a business, which meant that this channel has become, like a marketing channel, not just like my hobby or side project. Something that we need to do to get people to, buy our courses, and basically kind of like a marketing channel. Now, during this first 3 years, the channel, we didn't have any huge, we did, I'm trying to think whether we had a huge audience or not a huge audience, because to be fair, when I started it, I was also writing a blog, and we had an email list. I had a business called The New School. So I didn't start out of zero, because when I started it, I already had a bunch of people who knew me, which I basically transferred to this YouTube channel. I used to also write a blog in Hebrew. And so I had kind of like a little personal brand that I migrated into this YouTube that were following me. And the channel had somewhat of a success. I guess the first year it had 10,000 subscribers, which I guess a lot of people would say it is successful, but none of the videos were like big hits. Most of the videos were like hundreds of views or something like this. But I never intended for the videos to either be viral or reach a lot of people that was never my goal, right? So this is very different from people like Mr. Beast, who is telling that basically for years he had the goals of how do I make it big on YouTube, and he was trying to learn this skill, and he eventually learned, and he basically hit it big. And this is, by the way, a key insight into how you improve in something. You have to really want to improve it, because if you don't want, and I didn't want, I just kept doing what I was doing. The audience grew over the time, but it doesn't necessarily mean that my skills as a YouTuber grew, because I never had the goal of improving my skills as a YouTuber. At least in the first few years, I was only interested in doing this for fun and as my creative outlet. And so, again, I did a lot of videos. The audience slowly grew, but my skill didn't grow, and the success of my videos didn't grow. So again, the audience was building up slowly, but views weren't crazy. Now, at some point, as I said, few years into this, I changed the format. Also, because I was building a business, I wanted to bring other people on the channel, because I didn't want the business to fully rely on me. But that also creates some kind of challenges, especially on YouTube, where people a lot of times they connect to faces, they connect to the brand. And so when you have different people, sometimes maybe you can say that the emotional connection is not there yet. So if people were only interested in hearing you speak, now there's other people, so they become less engaged with the channel. So a few things change, right? We've brought in different creators on the channel. We also started to experiment with different formats, right? So it started from vlogs, it turned into like opinions, and then there were formats like reviews, there were formats like courses, like crash courses, technical courses, and tutorials. And some of these have performed better, and some of these have performed worse. And as I said, we do have videos on the channel that have millions of views to them. But here's the funny thing, and here's why I now think that this comes down to a skill issue, meaning we don't have the skill of being successful YouTubers. For a few years, the first successful video that we had was that hit actually 1 million views, was a video of like me reviewing 10 beautiful websites. So, and the funny thing about this is that this video went viral. It was a video that was rather easy to make. I didn't think it was very valuable. It was kind of like inspirational videos. I review a bunch of videos and that's it. Unlike other videos that where we teach something or I share my opinion and I treat them, I spend time preparing for them and thinking about them or scripting them or preparing assets or something like this. So the first thing that happened was the biggest success that we had was not the thing that we wanted to succeed, I guess you can say. It was just, in a way, you can call it a fluke, right? It just worked. And in a way, we said, okay, this thing seems to work, but we also don't want to do this thing just the channel being like inspirational videos, even if that's what's working, because that's not what we want to be, right? And so we kept doing it at a cadence, like once a month we would do like the best websites of July or something like this, and it would still work to a degree, but not as this first huge success that we had. And every once in a while we would stumble upon a format or a video that would work. Let's say all of a sudden a video of me reviewing portfolios went viral, right? And again, I wouldn't know when I was planning and when we were brainstorming ideas for videos, I didn't know this is the video that's going to work. I always had my intentions or hoping that another more valuable video, I would say. But it turns out that what the audience think is valuable is not necessarily what you think is valuable. Actually, currently, the most popular video or watched video on our channel is a 3-hour course, intro course to web design that I did in early 2024. And that was in a way engineered to say, okay, we think this has a really high potential. We put a lot of time. We worked like over a month on a single video. and it did work. So this is almost, I would say, the single time where we engineered success, as in we planned for it to be really, really good. It it was really, really good, and it worked. A lot of times we try to engineer success, meaning we spend a lot of time on something, we hoped it would be successful, but it wasn't successful. And this leads me to the point where, to this day, and I've been doing this 10 years, again, first 3 years, I wasn't even interested in success, or I didn't even care about views or metrics or growing or something like this. I just did it for fun. But once it became a business, obviously I was interested in succeeding on YouTube, because to me, for our business, there is a direct correlation between YouTube views and sales. So if I'm better on YouTube, I'm going to make more money. So obviously, for the last at least 6-7 years, I have the desire to do better on YouTube. And yet, if you look at the graph of our YouTube views, I guess, it was basically static. There was one point, maybe in I think 2023 or something like this, when we learned something, improved a little bit, and our views kind of like jumped. But after that, they've plateaued, which basically means that we still don't have a system. We still haven't really figured out a way to succeed. We're just trying and trying and trying and trying. Sometimes we have successes, but to me, and I always tell it to other people, I feel like YouTube is like a slot machine. You put in a lot of coins, one of them might win and go viral and, cover the cost of all the other videos, but I don't know which one it will be. And the really interesting thing that happened to me this week is that I watched a video. I was on YouTube just for fun, and I saw a interesting video about BYD, the Chinese car manufacturer video. So I watched the video. It was kind of like one of these video articles about the story of the company, and it was a really interesting video. And then I went to the channel to check out, like, who's this company that did this video, because the company that did it turns out is like an accounting firm based in Hong Kong, and they were making this video to basically position themselves as, hey, we're the experts on everything that happens in Asia. And I was looking at their YouTube channel, and this was incredible. It turns out they have this YouTube channel for 6 years, and they're publishing lots of videos, like hundreds of videos. And all of the videos are super average videos, videos where they sit in their office, I guess, answering some technical question about, legal stuff or accounting stuff or something like this. How do you set up a company in Hong Kong or something like this? All of the videos have like 600 views, something like this. And they've got hundreds of videos. Up until 1 month ago, exactly 1 month ago, and from 1 month ago, their whole channel changed. Obviously, something have changed. They have changed their strategy, their thumbnail, their packaging, their editing, their storytelling. Everything changed. And now every video that they're making is getting either hundreds of thousands of views, and they've got few videos hitting over. This BYD video that I saw was hitting already 8 million views. So it looks like this channel was stuck at, if I had to rank YouTube skills, 1 through 10, I guess they were somewhere around 2 or 3. They were consistently making videos. They know how to shoot. They know how to script. I guess they know how to make thumbnails, but they were not getting results. So I would say they're at skill number 2. And from skill number 2, they jumped immediately into maybe skill number 8 or 9, right? Not Mr. Beast, but they've all of a sudden mastered YouTube. Now, what I think is that either they hired somebody or they hired an agency or something, but something has dramatically shifted. And the most interesting thing for me with this story was that the shift wasn't gradual. It's not as if they're making YouTube for 4 or 5 years and you see they were at level 3 and then they improved a little bit and they were at level 4 and then they improved a little bit and they were at level 5 and then they improved. No, they jumped right from number 2 to number 8, and this is not a fluke. Now they've released about 10 videos this month, and each one of them is like a banger, getting tons and tons of views, super, super successful. So it's not as if they had one lucky video. They have changed the strategy, and this new strategy works. So it really shifted my perception from, again, I was thinking, well, YouTube is like a slot machine. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and you have no way of knowing which one is going to be successful. No, I realized that this perception that I have about how YouTube work is completely wrong, because here's an example of somebody that changed something, obviously the skill and the knowledge that they have about how to make YouTube, and instantly they get better results. Not one time, not by chance, not by luck. They now know how to get results. And it really highlighted to me that, number one, that my perception of YouTube as a slot machine is definitely wrong, and that I am probably stuck as well. Now, maybe I'm not stuck where they are stuck at level 2, let's say. I think we are maybe stuck at level 5 or 6 of YouTube, right? We're getting thousands of views. We often get tens of thousands of views, but we rarely get hundreds of thousands of views, and we rarely, almost never get millions of views. So we're better than they were, but we're still stuck. And we are stuck now at a, I would say, lower skill level than where this other company is right now. So to me, this was really, really eye-opening. Again, there's this concept of like 10,000 hours where people think that if you do something for a lot of time, you're going to improve. But as I said, doing something a lot of times, I've been doing this for 10 years, thousands of videos recorded. The fact that I'm recording thousands of videos does not guarantee that I improve. To improve, I have to know that I want to improve. I have to have the goal to improve. I have to learn from my mistake. I have to make an effort to always improve. I have to learn from other people. I have to maybe get coaches, have people who know more than me, how to be better, right? If we take, I don't know why I'm thinking about tennis, but you can play tennis your whole life and not become professional or something like this. If you want to become professional, you're going to be stuck at level, whatever, 3, 4, 5. If you want to move to level 8, you're going to have to work with somebody who can tell you what you're doing wrong, give you feedback, teach you the stuff that you don't know, show you where your blind spots are, and help you improve beyond that. Because just keep on playing, even if you play a few times a week, does not guarantee that you'll move forward. So this is my insight about YouTube. We've been stuck for years at a level, doesn't matter if we call it level 5 or 6 or something like this. And if we want to grow, and I definitely say, again, I want to grow because this is an integral part of our business, then we have to make a conscious effort to improve and become better. We have to invest in learning, in getting feedback, in maybe working with the best people in the industry to learn. And this actually gets me excited. I'm actually happy about this because previously I was stuck and I thought that there's no way to fix it, maybe because, again, my worldview was of it comes down to luck. Just keep producing. Sometimes you'll hit it. And this is, in a way, depressive state of mind because you don't know what to do. You don't know what's going to be a success. And you just have to keep grinding. And now my new mental framework is, no, it's a skill issue and you can learn it. And of course you can learn it because you can learn anything and you can, invest in learning, in courses, in coaching and working with consultants, with professionals. Now it becomes a super, super solvable problem. And I'm also happy that I think we're catching it at the right time because I don't know if you've noticed, but now with AI making coding so easy, I guess, for everybody, now people realize that coding an app is not the problem, but rather the distribution and getting attention to it. So now all of the investors and all of the startup company are all of a sudden realizing, oh shit, we don't just need a product, we need to have like channels to distribute it. Everybody's getting into content marketing. People are buying podcasts. People are investing in social media managers or YouTube strategists. So this becomes a very coveted skill to have. And people on YouTube, I mean, we also get a lot of sponsorship opportunities because not a lot of people know how to do this. So I think that we're already ahead of most people, but we still have a lot to learn. And I'm happy that I realized that this is a problem that we need to fix, and this is a skill issue. And that's now I feel like it's a solvable thing. So in a way, I've had kind of like a groundbreaking realization this week, which I'm super, super happy about. And I'm excited to see where we'll be by the end of the year, right? So it's May now. We've got some time, and hopefully we can get a few levels up by the end of the year. And that'll be amazing for our business, but also for me, I think, as a person. There's this cliche. I don't know, not cliche, but a quote from one of the motivational speakers. I don't remember if it was Zig Ziglar or somebody else, where he said, "Don't don't worry about getting $1 million. Worry about becoming a millionaire, like the person who knows how to make $1 million," or something like this. And I think that's the exciting thing. If I'll be at the end of the year, I'll be a person that really knows how to make YouTube and succeed on YouTube, then that's going to be exciting. I'm going to be a different person, like a smarter person. I have more skills than I have right now. Obviously, by the way, look at this channel. I started a new channel for this podcast. My last video here got 22 views. So this is very humbling, but also, again, it's the same thing, right? I'm starting from scratch, and obviously I don't know how to do this well enough, because some people are starting their second channel and it's immediately a success. I started the second channel. It's not immediately a success. So we'll see where this blog and this personal YouTube channel is by the end of the year as well, because if I'll know how to do this for Flux, I might know how to do this for this channel as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting times ahead. All right. That's all I got for you today. I hope that it was valuable and it's encouraging you to maybe build your own skills as well, because skills are solvable. I mean, that's a solvable problem. If somebody's done that before, you know you can do it as well. And yeah, have a fantastic rest of the week. See you next time.